Hello students. So the last video was stopped in between. Let's continue the chapter. Okay, so as soon as the young girl caught sight of him, she went up and lifted his hat. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open. So this man was not quite comfortable, though he was sleeping there. But he knew that something may happen, as the company owner, the owner of that factory, already said that he wanted him to be at his home during Christmas Eve. So he was not comfortable, and that is why he was sleeping with one eye open. He jumped up abruptly and seemed to be quite frightened. My name is Edla Williamson, said the young girl. My father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forest tonight. And then I asked permission to come and bring you home to us. I am so sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time. So these people are mistaking him as the captain, Wonstale. So that is why they both are adamant. They both want this man to be at their home. And now this time she had come here. She looked at him compassionately with her heavy eyes, and then she noticed that the man was afraid. And when she looked at his eyes, she got to know that this man is afraid of something. Either he has stolen something, but that those fear was seems like that either he must have stolen something or he must have escaped from jail. She thought and added quickly, "You may be sure, Captain, that you will be allowed to leave us just as freely as you came." So this was the assurance which was given by this lady, that you need not to worry about anything. As I am taking you with me, we will also leave you exactly like this. Only please stay with us over Christmas Eve. She said such a friendly manner this in such a friendly manner that the Rattrap paddler must have felt confidence in her. And this is the way of confidence his father also have on this girl lady, that she had better persuasion. That is why she persuaded him and make him under his confidence. It would never have occurred to me that you would bother with me yourself, miss, he said. I will come at once. And he was agreed to go with her. He accepted the fur coat, which the valet handed him with a deep bow, threw it over his racks, and followed the young lady out to the carriage. So the valet had that fur coat, and he handed over him, and he followed the lady without granting the astonished blacksmith so much as a glance. And everybody was so much astonished that why these people are carrying this vagabond to their home. Why the devil did I take that fellow's money? He thought. And even now, this man, he was not so comfortable. While going to their home, he was thinking in between that why the devil, why I had taken that fellow's money, those 30 kroners notes. Now I'm sitting in the trap and will never get out of it. Now I understood that I'm fixed in this trap and nobody can help me. I will not be get out of it. The next day was Christmas Eve, and when the ironmaster came into the dining room, breakfast, he probably thought with satisfaction of his old regimental comrade, whom he had run across so unexpectedly. Now, this ironmaster, he was so happy that today he will meet his exactly that friend, comrade. First of all, we must see to it that he gets a little flesh on his bones, he said to his daughter, who was busy at the table, and then we must see that he gets something else to do than to run around the country selling rat traps. And he was thinking and he was planning for his future also. It is queer that things have gone downhill with him as badly as that, said the doctor. She was also agree that things were not better for him, and that is why this is the condition of him. Last night I did not think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man. But she also added one thing, that last night when she noticed him, that she never find anything that he was ever educated in his life. You must have patience, my little girl, said the father. As soon as he gets clean and dressed up, you will see something different. Last night he was naturally embarrassed. The tramp manners will fall away from him with the tramp clothes. But Ironmaster was quite sure that he was his friend. Just as he said that, this the door opened and the stranger entered. Yes, now he was truly clean and well dressed. The valet had bathed him, cut his hair, and shaved him. Moreover, he was dressed in a good looking suit of clothes which belonged to the ironmaster. He wore a white shirt and a stressed collar and whole shoes. So now he was clean shaved, well haircut, and he was in clean clothes. But although his guest was now so well groomed, the ironmaster did not seem pleased. But Ironmaster was not at all pleased to look him. He looked at him with puckered brow, and it was easy to understand that when he had seen the strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have made a mistake. Now he got to know that he was not that guy, he was not his old friend, because he can clearly see his face now. But that now, when he stood there in broad daylight, it was impossible to mistake him for an old acquaintance. So, what does this mean? He thundered. Now he became angry. The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. Now, stranger did not say anything. Now, stranger didn't want him to confuse anymore. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. Now he got to know. Everything is now very clear, and the happiness is all the gone. It's gone. It is not my fault, sir, he said. I never pretended to be anything but a poor trader. But he said that. I never wanted to come to your home. I just asked, I pleaded, and begged to be allowed to stay in the forge. He said, I just wanted to stay there. But no harm has been done. He said that I haven't done anything even now, till now. So allow me, at worst I can put on my rags again and go away. He said that I'll put off these clothes, I'll put on my rags, and then I'll leave this house. Well, said the ironmaster, hesitating a little. It was not quite honest either. But even then, ironmaster said that, even then you are not quite honest. Why didn't you say earlier? You must admit that. You could have admit that last night, and I should not surprise if the sheriff would like to have something to say in the matter. And ironmaster was ready to call police. The tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. Now, tramp, he got a bit angry. Now, I'm going to tell you, Mr. Ironmaster, how things are. He said, this whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. All the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese, rinds, and bits of pork set out to drag a poor fellow into trouble. And the idea which he had, the same idea that this whole world is a big rat trap and all the things are in it, these are all porks, baits. And if the sheriff comes now and locks me up for this, then you, Mr. Ironmaster, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork, and then you will get caught in the trap. And he also warned him that one day will definitely come when you will be also caught in this rat trap. The ironmaster began to laugh. That was not so badly said, my good fellow. Perhaps we should let the sheriff alone on Christmas Eve. And now he agreed not to call the police. But he said that, but now get out of here as fast as you can. But just as the man was opening the door, the daughter said, I think he ought to stay with us today. I don't want him to go. And with that she went and closed the door. But the daughter, she was not agree because she promised him, and that is why she closed the door. She said that no, he is not going anywhere and he will stay with us till Christmas Eve. What in the world are you doing? Said the father. The daughter stood there quite embarrassed and hardly knew what to answer. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how homelike and Christmassy she was going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. So she was happy to have this guy in her home. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond. Okay, and that is why she interceded and she made him stop at his home. I'm thinking of this stranger here, said the young girl. He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. And she told his father that that is why she wants to help him. She wants to let him stay at his home because he had no place where he can stay or sit at ease. Wherever he turns, he is chased away. Always he is afraid of being arrested and cross examined. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here. So, just one in the whole year. So, she wanted to give him just one day of peace. The ironmaster mumbled something in his beard. He could not bring himself to oppose her. So, as he already knew that she is quite adamant and she won't be agree. That is why the ironmaster left it. It was all a mistake, of course, she continued. But anyway, I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here and to whom we have promised Christmas cheer. And she said that this is also not good, that whom we have welcomed, and we will ask him to leave the house. You do preach worse than a parson, said the ironmaster. And what he said that? Your preaching is rather worse than a parson. Parson is a Christian priest. Said the ironmaster, I only hope you won't have to regret this. But he also warned her, that I hope that you won't regret your decision. The young girl took the stranger by the hand and led him up to the table. Now sit down and eat, she said, for she could see that her father had given in. The man with the Rattrap said not a word. He only sat down and helped himself to the food. Time after time, he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him. Why had she done it? What could the crazy idea be? But even now, after doing all such things, he was not at peace. He was thinking that what is there? What kind of idea is going on in her mind? That why had she done this? Because he never expected love and affection in his entire life. He had never seen such kind of love. He had never seen such kind of affection towards him in his entire life. That is why he cannot believe it, that somebody can do some kind of favor towards him. After that, Christmas Eve at Ramshow passed just as it always had. The stranger did not cause any trouble because he did nothing but sleep. The whole forenoon he lay on the sofa in one of the guest rooms and slept at one stretch. At noon they woke him up so that he could have his share of the good Christmas fare, but after that he slept again. It seemed as though for many years he had not been able to sleep as quietly and safely as here at Ramshow. So this was the only place where he can sleep without any tension, without any fear. So that is why he only slept there and did nothing. In the evening, when the Christmas tree was lighted, They woke him up again, and he stood for a while in the drawing room, blinking as though the candlelight hurt him. But after that he disappeared again. 2 hours later he was aroused once more. He then had to go down into the dining room and eat the Christmas fish and porridge. As soon as they got up from the table, he went around to each one present and said thank you and good night. But when he came to the young girl, she gave him to understand that it was her father's intention that the suit which he wore was to be a Christmas present. He did not have to return it. And if he wanted to spend next Christmas Eve in a place where he could rest in peace and be sure that no devil would befall him, he would be welcomed back again. And that young lady presented his father's suit to him, and also assured him, also asked him that he may come in the next Christmas Eve if he wanted to. The man with the rat traps did not answer anything to this. He only stared at the young girl in boundless amazement. He couldn't believe that anybody in the world can also show some kind of affection towards him. The next morning, the ironmaster and his daughter got up in good season to go to the early Christmas service. Their guest was still asleep, and they did not disturb him. So they both went to the church for Christmas service. When at about 10 o'clock they drove back from the church, the young girl sat and hung her head even more dejectedly than usual. Why it was so? At church she had learned that one of the old crofters of the ironworks had been robbed by a man who went around selling rat traps. And there in the church they got to know that news. That old rat trap peddler had stolen one old crofter. And that is why she was thinking that her decision was wrong to let him stay at his home. That is why she was sitting dejectedly than usual. Yes, that was a fine fellow you let into the house, and his father was also angry. He was scolding her, said her father. I only wonder how many silver spoons are left in the cupboard by this time. And he was thinking that he must have stolen a number of things from his home. The wagon had already stopped at the front steps when the ironmaster asked the valet whether the stranger was still there. He added that he had heard at church that the man was a thief. And he asked the valet, that servant, whether that stranger is still there or he had gone. And he told that they got to know that he was a thief. The valet answered that the fellow had gone and that he had not taken anything with him at all. And that servant assured them that he had not taken anything with him at all. On the contrary, he had left behind a little package. Instead of taking, he left one little package which Miss Williamson was to be kind enough to accept as a Christmas present. And that was a Christmas present for Miss Williamson. The young girl opened the package, which was so badly done up that the contents came into view at once. She gave a little cry of joy, and now she was happy when she saw this. She found a small rat trap. There was a small rat trap, and in it lay 3 wrinkled 10 kroner notes. And there were those 10 kroner notes which he had stolen. But that was not at all. In the rat trap lay also a letter written in large, jagged characters. But in jagged characters, there was a letter also which was there. Honored and noble Wiss, since you have been so nice to me all day long, as if I was a captain. He's saying that you behaved me just like a captain. I want to be nice to you in return, as if I was a real captain. So he is saying that I also wants to behave with you like a captain, for I do not want you to be embarrassed at this Christmas season by a thief. You should not be embarrassed because I am a thief. But you can give back the money to the old man on the roadside, who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for poor wanderers. He said that though you can handed over this money to that old crofter, but he also blamed that old crofter that this is not only his fault why he had taken the money. It was the crofter fault also that why he had put that money just like a bait for us, for poor wanderers. The rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in this world's rat trap. So, this was a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in this world rat traps, and he calls himself a rat and said that I am in this world rat trap. If I had not been raised to captain, because in that way he got power to clear himself. And he thanked Miss Williamson that because of her he was raised to captain, and because he was raised to captain he cleared himself from this rat trap. Written with friendship and high regard, Captain Wonstale, and he himself called Captain Wonstale. Thank you, students. So this is the end of this chapter. We will discuss question answers in next video.